And hello, and welcome to the Zoom Q&A for the 2020 East Village Queer Film Festival screening of female filmmakers. My name is Florence Buchanan. I'm a previous participant in the New York No Limits Film Festival and other film festivals around the country, and I am also a screenwriter, and I'm happy to be here. And I would like to introduce the three filmmakers that we have here tonight, that we are honored to have here tonight. We have Saida Bello Osagie, who is the writer-director of Tinge. And we have Ashley Hardenberg Cartagena, who is the writer-director of A Single Evening. And on my right, but not necessarily yours, we have Natalie Frederick, who is the writer of Stuck. So welcome, the three of you from wherever you all are. The miracle of Zoom is that we can all be anywhere now, but unfortunately we can't be together. So I would like to start with Saida. Now, Saida, you said this is your first festival, is that right?
Yeah, this is my first festival, my first Q&A that I am partaking in, so it's really exciting. My birthday is actually next week, so I'm thinking this is like a little early birthday present for me, so thank you guys for this opportunity. And yeah, this is my first time and I'm really excited to be a part of it.
That's great. Well, we're very happy to have you here. We love your film, and I'm interested to know, because it's such a wonderful sort of, actually two of the films out of you two, A Single Evening and Tinge, both seem to be extraordinary, like visual representations of the angst of, you know, online dating, which all of us have been there. So it's fascinating to me, like how you came up with, you know, with this idea and this way of expressing it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, so I wrote this sometime last year, about January or late December 2018. And this was me in between jobs. I had a bit more time to delve into online dating. I was on various ones, hence the portmanteau Tinge. And yeah, I was just, you know, matching with people, meeting up with people. Obviously, this is all pre-COVID. And, you know, I think I was just realizing how I was getting into this cycle of going on dates with different people and then getting ghosted and taking it personally and taking it super personally for these strangers that I had no idea who they were. But for some reason, I was like, oh my gosh, they don't respond to my texts. What is going on? What does this mean? Who am I? And having all these weird existential crises, even though I don't even know their last name. And I was like, okay, this is kind of absurd. And then I was thinking about the absurdity of the entire situation and me and the different conversations I've had with my friends. And yeah, and that just kind of is how Tinge was born. And Tinge, for those of you who may have not known, it's about a girl who goes on a date with this other girl named Genevieve. And it's about the events that ensue when she gets ghosted from her and just like the mental Olympics that she undergoes. So yeah.
Well, it's a very visually interesting film. It's beautifully shot.
Thank you.
I mean, it's just, you know, fascinating to see sort of where you took that you know, that terrible feeling of ghosting, because it just makes no sense because you don't know anything, but
right.
where you took her imagination.
Yeah.
So I thought you did a really nice job with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so definitely a lot of different flashbacks. So like when she's flashing back to the date and it's manifesting into this weird nightmarish, like she kind of is dressed up as like Chaplin-y the tramp, like her face is just like covered in soot and like her eyeliner is just blurred and everything. And I was just like thinking about how that's how I usually feel after I get ghosted. I'm like, oh God, I must have just looked like a piece of shit, and that's just the issue. But it's good though. Like it's all very good. I think that cinema is awesome because it's like therapy and it's super therapeutic. And
well, I was actually just going to ask you that, because I really believe that myself, that once you create something out of something that you felt very deeply, it actually makes you feel so much better. And it also then helps other people feel better too about what's
right. Yeah, definitely. As long as people watch this and feel less alone about online dating and all of the intricacies of it. That was the goal.
Well, I would say you succeeded in that, I would say. And with a very interesting ending. Do you just want to talk for a second about the ending?
Yeah, so the ending, essentially after this whole roller coaster rides and she's, you know, crying in a panini in front of a bodega and everything because this girl didn't respond. It turns out that the girl, Genevieve rather, didn't respond because she had left her phone at the restaurant that they had gone on a date in. And I included that as the ending because a lot of times with ghosting, it's really easy for us to think, oh, it's all about us. It's about something that I did. It's about something that I maybe wore, maybe I said the wrong thing. But in reality, there's so many different reasons why people ghost that are totally beyond us, and it has nothing really to do with us. So I thought it would be interesting to see what it would be like if the person who ghosted didn't actually intend to ghost them in the first place. So yeah, kind of a
no, it's a good, I mean,
look at it.
Yeah, it's a good way to sort of actually present it, that idea that it's not necessarily, it's not all about you.
Right. Like it's really not all about us, but for some reason in our world, we always think that. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Great. Well, on the subject of online dating, so another very imaginative approach is this film, A Single Evening, that you've all just seen. So Ashley, talk to us about that and how, I mean, the idea of music to express what you're going through is such a sort of, you know, wonderfully fresh way to do it.
Yeah, and it's also like, it's so difficult to do a musical too, but the sort of process when I was going through, I guess, some of the similar phases that we've all gone through in online dating, I wrote songs based on how I was feeling, and it kind of all came together into this weird thing where it was like, personified dating apps. Like, what if these songs were being sung by the dating apps and they were constantly reminding you that something was wrong with you because you're not on a date right now, like you're not even trying. And so as I wrote these songs, it came together into a narrative, and I shared it with a friend. I didn't think it was going to end up being a film, but she was like, you should make this a thing. And, you know, thanks to her, it ended up becoming a thing. So I'm just really happy it came together.
That's fantastic. So do you write the lyrics and the music?
Yeah, so what I did was I wrote the lyrics and I write a core of the music. I have some music apps, and I clearly have some instruments. And what I do is I turn the music over to a producer who kind of enhances it and makes the songs like a little cleaner. We record vocals, and then we sort of mix it in to the song. And then it was just easier for us to lip sync on set.
Yeah.
But it just also, it was very important to me to make sure that the music sounded high quality. So like right now our songs can exist independently as well. Like they're on Spotify, you can listen to them on Spotify. So I thought it was really important to make sure that the songs were jams that
definitely.
like, yeah.
Well, I must say the actors did a fine job with lip syncing.
Oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, Rebecca and everyone, honestly, they just, I couldn't even tell.
No, right. If you couldn't tell, yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell, so.
Good, great. Job accomplished.
But the whole visualization again of, you know, how in sort of real life, in real movie life without special effects, and how you actually try and create a sort of fantasy world in a, you know, with no, in a low budget movie situation, it's really, you know, it's really interesting to see how well you did that.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really nervous. I mean, to be honest, I was really freaking out if people were going to understand that these were personified dating apps, because, you know, we don't have like a huge budget. But we did have graphics, which I think really helped with that messaging. But just, I was really surprised by how many people, we did have one screening, and so many people said it was so clear that that they were dating apps and that that's what they were doing. And I just think that that's massive. So thank you for recognizing that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Well, actually both your films, I mean, the idea, like the texting thing, I mean, it's so funny because it's now this other dimension of, you know, how we watch something like this. It's so easy to take in because we're so used to it, you know, words on a screen and in a thing like that, and we understand it. It's just like very organic to the narrative. It really works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very well.
Thank you.
Good. Well, we'll come back to both of you in a sec. So Natalie, so talk to us about your wonderful little film. It's, you know, it's amazing what you can pack into, what is it, 3 minutes, you've said?
4 minutes, yeah.
4 minutes. I mean, whoa, you get a whole life, you know, backstory in there. So what was the inspiration for this?
Yeah, well, I wanted to keep it short and sweet. This is actually my first short film project, and so definitely keeping it something that felt manageable for me to create was one of the goals, and also to show that so much can happen, I think, in a short span of time when you actually communicate versus when people are not communicating with each other, which is obviously what those 2 young men were doing previously. in their relationship or non-relationship, as it were. And yeah, it was inspired by a couple of things, feeling stuck creatively. It was actually a friend of mine who was like, I feel stuck. And I gave this writing prompt of stuck to a friend and we made a film. And I was like, huh. He was like, use it if you want. And then I literally used it and named my film after it.
Wow.
And then that inspiration of being in sort of the undefined early stages of a relationship where you haven't defined it and there's just all this like uncertainty and I think fear surrounding, those conversations.
Well, I think that feeling of, nobody wants to say anything because they're afraid of what the other person might say when you're not certain. I mean, that's such a, all these are sort of universal themes that you've all been dealing with. And I think it's fascinating because it's not just about whether it's two women or, it doesn't matter, but it's got nothing to do with gender. Actually, it's to do with like people of all kinds. But I thought it was really, I wondered if it had been inspired by being stuck in a bathroom at any point. That was
No, that never happened to me, but I really for some reason had like strongly wanted to make something in a bathroom and I did.
Well, I mean, it's very funny because obviously the low budget thing is to not have too many locations, but I mean, actually I can't even imagine how difficult it was to shoot that thing.
My cinematographer was amazing. I kind of brought her in previously to the set, which is my old apartment. And I was like, we can make this work, right? And she was like,
are you kidding?
Yeah, it's gonna be tight, but yeah, so we made it work.
Well, tight is probably an understatement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you did a really good job. It was really great. So I was actually going to ask everybody, because it's always interesting for other people to know how many days you shot to get, what you got, because I mean, in low budget world, it's very important. So Saida, how many days did you shoot?
Yeah, so we shot for 2 days, thanks to my first AD who killed it. Yeah.
And moving around too.
Yeah, definitely. Just really long days and everyone just put in the work and was incredible.
Well, the subway shots are great too. It's always fun to see the subway. I mean, for us New Yorkers, it's always great. And I actually thought your choice of Chopin, that Chopin track, when the subway was like really lovely.
Thank you so much.
Took us to another place.
Shout out to stealing subway shots and avoiding people at all costs.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not have a permit. I am running.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, well done. It was really good. So Ashley, what about you? How did?
So we had actually shot half a day in a bar for all the bar shots. And then we used that as a proof of concept for crowdfunding. And then we shot the rest of the film in 2 days. So overall it was about 2.5 days.
Wow.
For a 12-minute film.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a hustle. But I'm so proud of everyone that worked on this project. And also the fact that we had an almost entirely queer cast and crew, which was major for a project like this. I'm just so proud of them, and I'm so lucky that I got a chance to work with them.
Yeah, well, I mean, the people in front of the camera were very impressive. So I'm, as obviously were the people behind the camera, because you know, to pull that off like that is really something.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. So Natalie, what about you? How long were you in that bathroom?
Well, Stuck was it's 4 minutes long, so it was one day, but it was a full day. We actually spent a lot more time on that party scene, which is just very short in the beginning, but there was just a lot more to do, and we got a lot of sort of options for that versus the bathroom section, which was probably at least a half day. I mean, we took breaks between switching the setups and everything, because we sort of also realized we were filming in a one bathroom apartment, and so that also had to be the bathroom that we had to use. But it worked out. Everybody peed before, and then we shot, and then we took a break to switch setups, and we were able to keep the crew pretty small for that section and just bring more people in when we needed extras for the party scene.
Right. So now a little question about casting and rehearsal, because obviously, whoever you cast is going to make or break it probably in some way. And then, do you have time to rehearse for a project like this? Like Saida, did you how did you find the people, and how, you know, did you spend any time ahead of time rehearsing?
Yeah, so it's funny. When I wrote Tinge, I actually wrote it with my friend who's not an actress by trade, but she's an amazing actress. I wrote it for her essentially, and so that actually impacted how I wrote the script because I wanted to add comedy, but I also wanted to add parts of drama because I knew that she could act really theatrically and dramatically. But of course, after I finished writing the script, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I cannot do this," and I was just like, oh, "Okay, cool, cool, cool. Who's gonna star in this film?" And it was super serendipitous because my casting director and my two co-producers and I held auditions with different people for Backstage, and we had different actresses that, you know, had a lot of, you know, dramatic and theatrical experience, but we ended up finding this sophomore at Tisch who's studying acting right now, and she was incredible. Like, she just really committed to the role, and I don't think anybody else could have crawled around East Village like on the ground, like growling at people in that way, or like crying on demand in a panini in front of a bodega like she did. So her name is Saskia Naidu, and she's amazing. And then after that, I found another girl, the girl who played the romantic interest. She was a coworker of the casting director, so she also wasn't an actress by trade, but she's, you know, amazing. And then the three other actresses, we also found them from Backstage, and they're super fun and incredible. And after we found everyone and everyone fully agreed and signed that they would actually be in the film, we rehearsed maybe about we shot this April 2019, so my memory is kind of hazy, but yeah, we rehearsed this maybe a week or so before we ended up filming it. And yeah, we were just running lines, and luckily everybody, when we started filming at like 5 or 6 a.m., everyone was fully prepared, had the lines down. And they also were really good at improvising, which was awesome. So even the first scene when the girl and Genevieve were talking, a lot of those conversations were fully improv'd, and they added their own flair to it. And Saskia was really dope. She has an amazing wardrobe. So we had wardrobe people, but she was like, I have this necklace I could bring. And I was like, that's sick, you should bring that. And she knew how to put on her own makeup and add all these different effects. So she's amazing, and the rest of the cast is amazing, and they were just really dope.
Yeah,
I'm glad everything worked out.
good.
Yeah.
They were. Okay, Ashley, what about you? Your cast, you've got quite a cast.
Oh yeah. I think we really lucked out because at first I was having a really hard time finding our lead. And it was just a really difficult process. And then our producers nominated or just told one of their friends and said like, hey, you should try out for this. And she sang for her audition song, a jazzy rendition of No Scrubs, which was just like perfect. Very spot on. Also, she's an acrobat and a phenomenal actress and a dancer. So it was just like perfect for a musical. And honestly, she really hit it out the park. And the rest of our cast was mostly people that I had interacted with, like some people I had taken a writing class with, or people who'd worked on previous projects. And I think it was really awesome to be able to like reconnect with those people, especially like any of my queer friends, and just like keep putting them in the projects, and especially because they like to sing. So like finding people who can sing. And I think the singing process was part of the rehearsal, because we had to do, you know, sort of some table work when they were learning the songs, and just kind of break down the characters a little bit, talk about what the characters are going through before they go into the song. And the fact that we have to record the song means that they have that period where they're in character during the recording process. So they know what's happening. And especially because we sort of block or have an idea of what's going to be shot, so they can have that in mind while they're singing. So it makes sense for the scene. So that was sort of the whole process, and everyone just really is awesome. We have such a stellar cast, and I love them.
Good. On to other things too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So Natalie, what about how did you find your two stars?
Yes, well, I obviously wrote it for myself. So I'm in it, and I, had written that with that in mind. And I actually didn't write it knowing which character I wanted to play, but then after I wrote it, I sort of,
really?
yeah, I wasn't sure. And then I thought about it, and I chose what character I thought I was more right for. And I had a friend from my acting studio in mind for the other role. So that part came very natural and easy. And actually, I was lucky that she was available to do it. And she's someone that I had also acted with before. So we already felt very comfortable with each other. And that came in place before a lot of the rest of the team, including all the extras, which that was really just a combination of social media and Facebook groups and my acting studio networks and friends of friends that came together. I was so nervous I wasn't going to get enough people to have a believable looking party scene. And then we even had some people that didn't end up making the final cut. So I was so lucky.
People like to be in a short film.
Yeah, people, and especially for that scene, it was a pretty low time commitment. So people were like, yeah, I'll come. And I was like, oh my God, thank you.
That's great. That's great. So one last question just for each of you, because you've now done this wonderful festival and I'm sure there's some other stuff lined up. So just tell us where the film will be next. Saida.
Yes, so after East Village Queer Festival, it'll also be screening at New Fest, and it'll also be at Tallgrass Film Festival, and it should be showing at blackfilm.com.
Great, great. Ashley?
Yeah, we are. I'm looking at my list. Sorry. So we just got attacked in October. It's awesome. Honestly, we just finished Atlantis Out on Film, and we're wrapping up on Out Film Connecticut. We'll also be at New Fest. We have Way Out Festival, and we are definitely we have some distribution talks in the works. So follow us on Instagram and find out where you'll be able to watch. So. Yeah.
Excellent. And what about you, Julie?
Yeah, I feel like October is the month for some reason. And we are actually currently in the Astoria Film Festival, which is online between the 1st and the 16th, I think. And they're doing outdoor in-person screenings at a backyard bar in Astoria. So if you're in New York and really dying to get out of your house, ours is on the 6th, but they have other stuff going on different nights, and some stuff happening at Kaufman in person, outside, masks on. At the end of the month, which I don't know what the details on that are yet. And then we are also in the Adirondack Film Festival, which is doing like a film festival in a box thing. And I think you could still order a box if you want. I'm very excited to get mine. And that's going to be like the 15th through the 18th of October. So Astoria and Adirondack Film Festival. And you can find me on social media where I post all the stuff related things as well. It's Natch B on Instagram.
Awesome. Great. Well, I think that we should wrap this up, but fantastic to meet you all, and thank you all for your films. And this was really fun. And just to say to everybody to keep watching the 2020 East Village Queer Film Festival for the rest of the week until October 11th.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.